Following video is sponsored by Dreame.
It has now been 4 months of use here regularly of our Dreame Aqua10 Ultra Roller Complete. So this one I posted the original video on and talked about all of its features. This particular video now is a follow-up of what it's been like over those 4 months and the pros and the cons that we have discovered using this in our household. So if you're unaware, the performance of this machine here is excellent. So suction performance is 30,000 PA. This is enough to lift up head here. I'll be doing another test in this video of exactly that. Long here, and it has a detangling duo brush system. And this is 2 brushes, and the way the bristles are angled and designed is that the hair simply just goes off the end of the brushes. So it has an extendable by 40 millimeter roller brush, and this is 260 millimeters the length of it. It goes along applying pressure, scrubbing, and cleaning your floors, and we've been really impressed with the performance. So it's constantly flushing the roller mop with fresh water. It goes into then the internal waste on this, so when it cleans, it's not going to be spreading that mess all about. And we do have stereo edge optical avoidance. This can detect up to 240 plus different objects in your household. And for me, it detects one of the most dangerous things for a robot vacuum cleaner. And that is if your pet happens to leave behind a bit of a mess. That I will test in this video too as well and let you know how I get on and my experience. Navigation has been fantastic in the home, mapping out the areas. Getting around the house has not been an issue at all, going over the carpets. And because it does have the auto seal roller guard, we're not worried about the mop. If it happened to be damp from just mopping areas, maybe contaminating or dirtying up the carpets, because it's got that plastic cover that goes underneath. So there's no way a wet mop is going to be touching your precious carpets. The navigation, of course, goes under beds. You get in and around the furniture just fine, no problems, around tables, and it does the typical zigzags up and down. So it's very thorough in its cleaning, and it does an excellent job. And what about the actual performance, though, of the vacuuming on things like carpets, where pet hair can also be a bit of an issue? If you haven't seen my other robot vacuum videos, I've been doing them for years now, about 10 years. I do have cats, and my cat Vera and Snow both donated, as they always do, a little bit of their fur in order to test out that 30,000 PA. Now, I did this in the original video, but how does it hold up now after 4 months? Well, I can confirm it is fantastic. This happens to be one of the best because this test is very stubborn. The pet hair, especially fine cat fur, will tend to just stick to the carpet. But in this test, which by the way, the footage is sped up, I put down some cornflakes, long human hair, and then a lot of cat fur. And you can see that the Aqua10 Roller Complete did a very good job of getting absolutely everything. Now, other robot vacuums, one I've just, in fact, posted a video on, will leave behind 1 or 2 spots of the pet fur, but didn't happen here at all. So really impressive, thanks to that 30,000 PA. Now, that roller mop, the mopping performance, thanks to the mop extend, which, as I said there in the intro, 40 millimeters, it works really well. So it gets right up against the edges, as you can see in this footage. And that means that it cleans everywhere. It doesn't tend to leave any gaps. It gets around furniture too as well without really any issues. And with my mopping test, which is coffee, another very stubborn test. I did this in the original video, but again, after the 4 months, is it still the same? Has the performance weakened somewhat? No, it is exactly the same. And the great news is that with this test, which is not really realistic, it got rid of all of the coffee. And that's because it's constantly flushing the system with clean water and then taking the wastewater off, and then the fluffy roller tech fluffing up that roller to increase the performance there meant that it was absolutely perfect in cleaning this stain here. And I can confirm around the house, it has been doing an excellent job of mopping. So once it's done all of that, it goes back into the auto empty station to clean that roller mop. And this is where it is going to rinse it all and make sure that not only is it clean, but it's going to dry it. Now, when it cleans that roller mop, it can, depending on the situation, clean it at 100 degrees Celsius. So that is going to sterilize that mop. It's going to kill any bacteria, virus, mildew. It won't smell, and then it proceeds to then dry it at 70 degrees Celsius. And I can confirm again that after the 4 months of using it, that it works well. I've never smelled anything bad out of this, unless, of course, it was because I need to drain out the washboard area. So that would have to be removed, rinsed and cleaned, your general kind of maintenance. The internal dustbin capacity is up to 100 days. And as I said before, that even after 4 months now, it's only about half full. And this is where I have one minor complaint that, like all of the auto empty all-in-one stations, they are a little bit noisy. So it sounds like just turning on a normal vacuum when it does empty. I'll give you a sample of that. That's one of the only 2 cons that I've discovered. Now, this isn't any louder or different to any other all-in-one station that has the auto empty function. They all sound like this, and it's something that you get used to. But if you happen to schedule it during the day when you're out, you'll never hear it. It won't be a problem. But if you do this when you're home, you will, of course, hear that. Now, when it does the washing of the roller mops in the all and empty station and then goes out to clean, this is another minor complaint from me. The only 2 cons I've really discovered is that it can take a while. It would take around about 5 minutes or so for it to wash those mops because it's doing a very thorough job of it. And of course, it's heating the water up to 100 degrees Celsius, rinsing it. And that is a process that does take a little bit of time there. Stereo edge obstacle avoidance is another big positive. So it's NVIDIA powered and it can see over 240 different objects. I gave it the ultimate test here because I've heard those nightmare stories of where someone's pet has left behind, we could say, a little gift for the owners, and then their robot vacuum cleaner without intelligent obstacle avoidance has gone and smeared that all over their floors and their carpets. A nightmare situation. But here you can see that it was not an issue for the Aqua10 Roller Complete. It saw this fake doggy do and proceeded to go around it. It did not, the side bristles did not, side sweeper brush, touch it at all. It completely avoided it, so it saw it. And things like USB cables, if you have a look at the app, it will also point out that it did see this object and it avoided it. So it does work really well, and a bit of peace of mind if you do happen to have pets inside while you're away at work, that if they do end up soiling somewhere, well, you've got at least a bit of peace of mind that hopefully the machine is not going to spread that everywhere. And it shouldn't, according to my tests. And if you do want to find out where you can buy and how much this Dreame Aqua10 Ultra Roller Complete is, there's a link in the description of this video. So please do check that out. And thank you so much for watching this follow-up 4 months later video of the Aqua10 Ultra Roller Complete.